and Mr. Joe Lee with us on this committee. At this time, I would give the invocation. Let us bow in prayer, please. Again, oh Heavenly Father Jesus, we come at this hour to say thank you. Thank you, dear Lord, because it's so much that you have done for us to give you the praise and the glory. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for allowing us to wake up this morning and come out to tend to the business that you have assigned our hand to. And Lord, oh Heavenly Father Jesus, that with all that we are going through with this coronavirus, we know that you are the Lord and you are above it all. We ask, dear Father, that you continue to keep us safe. And Lord, our employees, protect them as they do their job. And now, Lord, as we attend this meeting to attend to the business that you have signed our hand to do, we ask, dear Father, that we do what is pleasing in your sight, that it be betterment for the citizens of Williamsburg County. These and other blessings we ask in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Andre, we turn it over to you at this time.
Good morning to everyone with the Transit Committee.
Good morning.
I wanted to just briefly update you guys on where we are as of July of this year, which is the start date of me taking over transit. Sorry, mic's a little bit loud, isn't it? So pretty much started in July 9th of this year, operating transit. And I have to say, a couple of days after I got there, I received a phone call from South Carolina Department of Transportation, which notified me that we were still in compliance with some of the auditing issues that occurred. So we wanted to address that, which was one of the reasons why we weren't receiving any reimbursements from the state. After speaking with Ms. McCall, we worked together with SCDOT and was able to get in compliance with the auditing issues that actually occurred. Once we've done that, we were then tasked to get back reimbursements, some invoices that weren't turned in. We were able to recuperate those dollars that was left on the table from February of this year up into July. Now, what that simply means is that monthly, we have to turn in invoices for all the expenditures that we use in order to be reimbursed back from the state. I can tell you as of today, we are on track. It's due the 15th of every month. We are on track, and all our reimbursements have been coming in as of today. In February, we have our, in February, of course, we know the tragedy of COVID-19 that hit us. With that being said, we had the 5311, which is our operating fund from the state. Because of COVID-19, what ended up occurring is the CARES Act kicked in and kind of replaced the 5311, which is a good thing. 5311 allow us to get reimbursements up to 80%, depending on our assets, and as far as the COVID-19 CARES Act, it allowed us to get 100%. So utilizing those funds, we had a budget for about $560,000, which again, I was notified by SCDOT and said, hey, listen, we are extending the package, the CARES Act package, for the entire year from this year of 2020 till next year, 2021 of July. And because of the budget that we turned in, they said that, listen, you're leaving money on the table. So we end up reapplying and actually getting all the monies. So about $858,000 is what we have recuperated. The thing is, we will not get that from the state as of right now because they're still signing off on some other paperwork, but we will be getting those, which will bring our budget total to about 1.4 million for the remainder of the year. So as you see right now, we are in good standings. We're coming along. There's a few things that we need to address. We have some auditors coming in on October the 30th that we have to have done, and then the state auditor is coming in on November the 9th, which we are working diligently to try to get some things cleared up. One of the things that we're getting cleared up is our inventory. Our inventory has been in disarray, and I think from history, it's kind of been that way for a while. So we kind of made some adjustments, some moves in that department, and gave the maintenance in that department a administrator. And that administrator now will be in charge of making sure parts are coming in and are leaving. We also updated our software so that the computers talk to each other. Any parts that are being taken out from the back will update the computers up front automatically. All right, so it's just a communication between the computers. That way we can better make sure that our inventory is speaking truth and we can solve our auditing issue. We have parts that's over 10 years old back there that we have to literally box up and clean up. So we're working, and we're gonna make that happen. We are definitely working in that regards. You guys have a folder, and in your folder, if you take it out, you can kind of take it out and go along with me. The first thing you're gonna get is what they say your quarterly passenger information. From January to March 2020, if you take a look at where we were, this was just in the midst of COVID. As you can see, we had quite a bit of passenger participants riding the bus. April and July, as you can see, they dropped off. As of currently, those numbers are picking back up, though. They are picking back up. Slowly, but they are. On the buses, all passengers are required to wear their masks. We do have shields on the bus. One of the things that the money that's coming from state is going to allow us to do is purchase filtering system, which we would like to install on our buses. We have one new bus that was purchased before I got there, but we just finalized the purchase as I'm there, but it was purchased before I got there. And looking at that particular bus, we want to try to work to see if we can get that one to go ahead and be one of our demo buses with the filter system. So we want to be able to put that on the bus. If you go to your next paper, you'll see that there is a revenue source, which include South Carolina SCDOT, and it's just a breakdown of the dollars that we brought in from July of 2019 up until August of this year, okay? And as you can see, from Beach Route 7, Beach Route 1 Route 1 through 5, demand response, DSN, Upward Bound, Medicaid, Benedict. The miscellaneous is a hotel that actually, are you guys seeing the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's this one. Just go through your next sheet. You got it? All right. And so pretty much all that is just telling you the dollars that we brought in, okay? But if you look towards your April and May, you see that we lost contracts. DSN was a contract that we lost, and we lost that due to the virus. Now, I'm praying that we will get that back once, things the dust kind of settles, but they were one of our main funding sources. Medicaid was another one of our main funding sources as well. And that's just allowed us to take our citizens to the hospital, and Medicaid covers that through logistic care. issue with that was, because of COVID, of course, we started losing a lot of the routes that we were giving through Logisticare, and we were only doing in-county servicing. By doing in-county servicing, you get money, but you don't get as much. Had a conversation with the folks from Logisticare, had a meeting in Florence with them, and they talked with us, and we told them that we would do whatever we can to make sure that we can fulfill all the routes that's needed, that's necessary, and not turn them away. And since then, we have picked up tremendously on the routes going out of the county. So going not only to Florence, Columbia, and Charleston now. So we got those back because we lost those. There's a chart that I put in there for you guys to kind of show you the pretty much the ups and downs of our finances, in which it's just a communication with what I just showed you. So the chart is just representing what I just showed you in regards to the dollars that we brought in for this year. And
on that same sheet you have there, we've got quarterly total on the bottom down there. That's for that's what quarter that end to be.
Right. So that quarterly total is what we had in our general ledger as of 9/22/2020. Okay. So as of September 22nd, excuse me, that is the amount that we have because of the dollars that we did draw down from the state. So we started receiving checks from SCDOT. So those are all in as part of our revenue retrievement. So we do have all that. So that's where we're at right now as of that date. Okay?
Okay.
Because we have picked up some more dollars from state since then. And I think that amount is $673,166.
Yeah. Okay.
The rest of the information that I have in is just a breakdown, so you guys can actually go through your packets and see your breakdowns for what we have from what we brought in from January to March of 2020, from SCDOT all the way down to our fixed routes. Also, our revenue that we brought in from April
Which one
to
is
May.
the sheet you got that?
I'm sorry, it's the one that says WCTS revenues by sources.
Okay. All right, you got it.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the breakdown of our major fundings that we receive.
Okay.
And as you can see, I have a little side note that says September not shown because the month hasn't been completed yet.
Right.
Now I know I'm going to the sheets that says cost allocation program information. So I don't know how familiar you guys are. I know Mr. McKnight, you are familiar with the cost allocation information, but I just want to make sure that other committee members understand and know. So the total amount of expenditure of what we spend out is put really into this packet right here, okay? So the total amount for salary, wages, just our administrative costs is all breaking down in that first column. The one thing about that column is that is actually our code for our general ledger. Then you have your totals. But your totals for the expenses that we have is actually broken down into our funding resources, which is our 5311. Then, of course, you have other contracts. That includes your DSN, demand response, et cetera. And then, of course, Title 19, which is our Medicaid. So that is all broken down, and it gives you everything that you want to know in regards to what we're spending out on a quarterly basis. That's the average. And that goes from January to March, April to June, and if you look at July to August, there is no other dollars coming in for other contracts, and that's due to the COVID-19 as well.
Okay, so your net operation cost last contained was 157,000.
Where are you at now?
In the second page of that.
Okay, that was for that particular month. That was from January to March.
That was from January to March.
Yes, sir. That was from January to March of 2020. Okay. Now, the total amount of expenditures was 190,000, but 33,000 of that was dollars that we made off our riders, off our participants. So yes, it left us with 157,000 for that particular month, that quarter of January through March. In April, to that quarter from April to June.
That's on the same page?
No, sir, that's the second one. That's the second
one, right?
sheet right here. Yes, sir. Now, during that time, we end up spending about, it was the total amount that we spent was $194,000. And we only made $13,000 during that time period. So as you can see, that was actually during the heart of COVID. That's, I think, the riders from the beach, everything was shut down at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything picked back up, and I know you see a change in where we at with this one from July to August, and I can explain exactly why it's much lower in that regards. So our expenditures for that was only $103,000 and some odd change, 103,395. 19,000 is what we made with participants, and that's those that, of course, are spending on tokens. $83,000 was our total of expenditures for that month. The wages, if you look at what the wages are during that time, and you go back and look at the wages for the previous quarter, it was up. It was extremely high. And that was due to overtime that was being given out to our drivers, okay? It was kind of, up and down all over the place. And so what we did was put in a schedule for our drivers. That's a week in advance, going on towards 2 weeks in advance. So we can kind of forecast who is working where before they actually really reach overtime. Now, our drivers do get overtime, but we try to manage as much overtime as we possibly can. And if we're going to spread out the overtime, then we try to spread it out amongst everybody just to be fair and not, having one person getting 25 to 30 hours of overtime. But just to kind of scale that back and kind of even it out, that if they're getting 8 to 9 to 10 hours, we can manage that more efficiently than 25 and 30. Yes, sir.
On that page, on July, August, the one I think you're talking about, the expense was $103,000. And the money that we took in was almost $20,000, so that left us in the hole $83,000.
That's what we spend out, but that's common. That's what we're not really in the hole, but that's what we were spending out, and that's actually about average of what we're going to spend out a month on our expenses and stuff like that. But that's including our salaries, operating costs, fringe, fuel, all those things that is to the left.
Okay. I got a couple others, but I'll wait.
Okay. So, with that being said, as of right now, our general ledger, our baseline, our bottom line for general ledger account is about $700,000 that we have for operating costs. I'll give you the exact number in a second. Let me just clear this up. So right now, our year-to-date balance in our account is $738,991.72.
700 what?
$738,991.72.
That's what you have on hand now.
That's what we have on hand now, which is almost about average what it should have been. Last year, it was around that, but actually last year it dropped. It was around 300 and something, but the year before that was around 5. So we are projected to be where we should be, and I'm looking to make sure that we try to continue to grow our general ledger, and all that is just making sure that we are savvy with the way we spend our dollars.
When did you say you came on board?
I came on board July 9th of this year.
Why did you come on board? Why was the move? Why did we have the move? Because you were in charge of another area, right? I mean, you were in charge of public, like with the road plow. You had about 4 or 5 things that you were doing, weren't
Yeah.
you? And then you were changed over here on the transportation, on the transportation side. So what was the thinking behind that?
I can't answer that. You would have to talk to the supervisor. I'm just here to do a job, so whatever she asks and whatever is needed, that's what I'm gonna do. She talked to her about that though.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay. That you went over all your, what you had to present to this committee this morning. Just bring us up to date with where you're at and what's going on.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically, I guess what you need is the approval of your report. We usually get a quarter report, but this is the first time that we had a report, and I believe for 8 or 9 months as you reported, which you was on staff now, and you bringing it up to par.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is anyone of you all have any question to Andre at this time concerning this report?
I kind of want to look at it a little closer.
Okay.
I think it was a thorough report.
Yeah. What happened? It's good, and it's laid out. It's laid out, and we got until next council meeting to really go through it.
Yes.
If any question, what I would do is ask Andre to come back at our council meeting when we get ready to present this, because it's so much, you understand? Mm-hmm. And you can go through it basically like you were briefing us with it, you know. We normally used to get it every 3 months. Mm-hmm. And a whole lot have changed within that period of time. But it's glad to know that transit still have its strength to continue to hold on. And we look forward for it to continue to pick up due to the pandemic, COVID, what we're going through.
Yes.
Okay, y'all would like to make a motion to approve this committee?
Just 1 second, just before, the quarterly reports you do have for this entire year.
Yeah.
And as we go forward, I'll make sure that you guys get those quarterly reports.
Quarterly,
as
right,
well.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
You basically bringing it up from where it used to be.
Yes, sir.
Up to now.
Yes, sir.
This should be done every quarter,
Yeah,
you know.
that's correct.
All right. Carolyn, you have any?
No.
Julie, you have any? May we get a motion to approve the committee report?
I make a motion to approve the
I
committee.
second.
Move and second that we approve the committee report, so on our meeting, I guess it'll be Tuesday night time? Monday night? On the 5th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, put on your calendar, because when it come, I'll ask you to go through the committee report, okay?
Okay.
All right, but you have approval from the committee
Okay.
on what you presented to us today.
All right.
Else you got to bring before this committee?
Unless you have any questions. No.
None, Joe?
No, sir.
You, Cal? If not, then we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moving second that we adjourn. We now adjourn. We thank you very much for your report.
Thank you.
Thank the media for being here. And we'll see you Monday night if nothing happens.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Thank you.